Hello everyone, today in Mathematics Masterclass, we'll be looking at logarithms of bar notation. First, let's look at some numbers like bar 3.4 and again 3.4 and then lastly minus 3.4. Now you can see that the first number has bar and the second number has no bar, the other one has minus. So what is the difference between these three numbers? First, you know that in logarithm, we have two numbers being combined as one. For instance, when you have 3.5 in logarithm, it means we have two numbers. The first part of the number is 3, which is the integer, and the second part, which is 0.4, is the decimal part or decimal fraction part of the number. So you must bear it in mind anytime you are doing anything related to common logarithms. You should know that you are dealing with two numbers being combined as one, the integer part and the decimal fraction part. So take note of that. Now let's look at these two numbers. Let's first of all look at this. This 3.4 can be separated as 3 plus 0.4. So the 3 is the integer part, while 0.4 is the decimal fraction part. However, both of them are positive. 3 is positive, 0.4 is positive. Let's look at the other one, which is minus 3.4. Here, if we are separating them, it will be minus 3 minus 0.4. You can see both the integer part and the decimal fraction part are negative. We have minus 3, we have minus 0.4. However, if there is nothing here or there is plus here, it means both the integer part and the decimal fraction part are positive. If there is a negative number here, it means both the integer part and the decimal fractional part are negative. However, if you have bar here, it means only the integer part that is negative. So if you are separating them, you separate them as minus 3.4. So you can see it means three numbers. So bar means negative, but the negative belongs to the number that is carrying the bar. The other part of the number is not affected. So take note of that. So let's look at example 1. We have bar 3.2 plus bar 5.4. So if we are to add them, we'll first of all expand this to minus 3 plus 0.2 becomes 0.2. Then plus open bracket, bar 5 becomes minus 5 plus 0.4 becomes 0.4. This is an expansion and it's necessary you do it so that you can add it properly. So we can now perform our operation. 2 plus 4 is 6. 0 plus 0 is 0. Bring down your plus. Remember, you are doing it based on the plus outside the bracket. Your operation, you are performing it based on the plus outside the bracket. So the next one is minus 3 plus minus 5. And you know, plus times minus is minus. So this will now become minus 3 minus 5. And that will give us minus 8. So, but this cannot be our final answer. So we have to rewrite it as bar 8.6. So if we come down here, we are going to write bar 8.6. Then let's look at number 2. So let's look at number 2, which is the B part of this thing. B. We also have bar 3.7 plus again bar 5.8. So for us to perform our operation, we will first of all expand bar 3 to minus 3 plus 0.7 will become 0.7 plus outside the bracket, bar 5 will become minus 5 plus 0.8 will now become 0.8. Then you close the bracket. So we can now perform our operation. Now, remember we are still going to do it based on the plus outside the bracket here. So 7 plus 8 is 15. You write 5. Point. You move the 1 to this side of the number, bring down your point. So that one you move plus this 0 here will give us 1. Plus this 0 here again will give us 1. Bring down the plus. Now we have minus 3 plus minus 5. So minus 3 plus minus 5. Remember, this plus times minus will still give you minus. So what we have now is minus 3 minus 5. So that will give us minus 8 again. Now, still, this is not our final answer. But you have noticed that here we have 1.5. Remember, here we have 0.6. So you cannot write it until you have 0 here. And how are you going to have this 0 here? Is to first of all expand this 0.5. So again, we are going to expand this as minus 8 plus this 1.5 will now be expanded as 1 plus 0.5. Don't forget. So that you can add this 1 to minus 8. And minus 8 plus 1 will give us minus 7 plus 0.5. So we can now rewrite it as bar 7.5. So when we come to our answer, we are going to have bar 7.5. Start with the C part of the work. We have bar 5 minus bar 2, bar 5.3 minus bar 2.7. So we now expand bar 5 as bar minus 5 plus 0.3 minus open bracket bar 2 become minus 2 plus 0.7. Close the bracket. So we are going to perform our operation. Remember, you are doing the operation based on what you have outside the bracket. So we are going to say 0.3 minus 0.7. You know, it's not possible because 0.7 is bigger than 0.3. So you have to borrow 1 from here. And borrowing means subtraction of 1. Borrowing 1 means subtraction of 1. Take note of that. So minus 5 minus 1 will give us minus 6 here. So that one, if you add it here, it will become 1.3. So 1.3 minus 0.7 will give us, it will become 1.3 minus 0.7, it will give us 0.6. Then what we have left here now is minus 6. Minus 6 minus minus 2. Remember, there is minus outside the bracket upon which you are performing the operation or the calculation. So this minus now multiplying this minus inside the bracket to become plus. So what we have here now is minus 6 plus 2. And that will give us minus 4. So this is what we have. Our final answer, therefore, will become bar 4.6. So when we come down here, we are going to write bar 4.6. So let's look at the last part, which is D. So D, we have 3.4 minus 5.9. So for us to expand it, we are going to have 3 plus 0.4. Then minus open bracket 5 plus 0.9 close bracket. So if we are to perform our operation, we are going to have, remember, you are performing your operation based on the sign you have outside the bracket. So the sign we have here now is minus. And you know 0.4 is less than 0.9, so you cannot perform that operation. So what you do, you subtract 1 from 3. And you know 3 minus 1 is 2. So we have 2 here now left. And here now will become 1.4. And 1.4 minus 0.9 will give us 0.5. Bring down your plus. Now we now have 2 here. 2 minus 5 will give us minus 3. So this is what we have. So this will now be equal to bar 3.5. So our final answer here will be bar 3.5. So you can see now that even this one, there's no bar in the equation, but in your answer you have bar. So take note of that. Anytime you are performing any operation that is logarithm, just know that you have two numbers being combined as one, the integer part and the fractional part. So if you must perform any operation like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, you must separate them. In our next video, we are going to talk about the multiplication and division of logarithms of bar notation. Thank you and God bless you.